Hello and welcome to Bump in the Dark, Iron Country Autumn. This is our fourth of 4 sessions, running Bump in the Dark for the Gauntlet. My name is Jex. I am going to be the keeper for this session of Bump in the Dark, or this whole series, and I'm also the writer of the game Bump in the Dark, which you can find on itch.io/JexJThomas. Why don't we just go around and do name and pronouns and a brief introduction to your character, and then we'll jump in. Why don't we start, Jesse?
Yeah, my name is Jesse. My pronouns are he and him, and I will be playing Harold Havamaki, the Shield, who Gulf War vet, from Iron Country, ended up with a demon in his skull after looting an incantation bowl. Had the incantation tattooed on his head to trap the demon there. So now he's got this demon in his head. He recently has been making some bargains, not even with a little bit with the demon, a little bit with some other folks. I'm trying to remember the NPC's name. I think the bargain was left open.
Mr. Heap.
Mr. Heap, that's right. Mr. Heap. And who's offered me some power, but in exchange for kind of being his mule. And how powerful is that really is sort of Harold's question.
Yeah, well, hopefully we'll find out at least a little bit about that tonight. Brandon, why don't you tell us about yourself and Hope?
Sure, I'm Brandon He. I'm playing Hope Tremblay, she, who is a sweet young woman who likes the simple joys of the world and knows a lot more about strange going on than her years would allow. And that is because she is from a version of Lost Pine where the Hellmouth opened and the apocalypse came, and she walked through a tear. She followed a being, through a portal between worlds and ended up in this Lost Pine, and is bound and determined to make this one not get ruined the way the other one did. She seems to have a tiny bit of control over her own various alternate realities, but not much control over other people's, unfortunately, which is what it is. She's doing the best, and she likes pie. Also, she has an orange tabby cat named Humphrey.
Yeah, I feel like we need to get some good Humphrey screen time.
Yeah, well, the kitty went through the portal too, so God knows what he can do.
All right, thank you very much. And Jason.
Yeah, I'm Jason. I use he, him pronouns, and my character is Junior. Junior also uses he, him pronouns. He's a 18-ish old kid. Oh, there he is.
There he is.
Junior is about 18. He should be in college, going away to college, but instead he's hanging around because he's concerned about spirit or supernatural whatnots. He worries especially about his grandmother. And at the end of the last session, we learned that he and his grand have been working on this souped-up four-wheel drive pickup truck that's now ready to go, which is he calls it Slayer. His truck is Slayer. Yeah, I think that's it.
Nice.
Because Slayer rules.
Yeah. So, So we've established that it's autumn. I think we're around Halloween time now. It's starting to get colder. We've probably even had like a couple of light snows by now here in the Ontonagon rather Peninsula. And one of the things that's exciting about Halloween in Last Pine is that it's paired up with Last Pine's sort of biggest event of the year, the Pinewood County Fair. And no one is really sure when or why the fair was moved from summer to autumn, but that's sort of what it is. The reasons are long lost to history. But right now, if you were to walk around Last Pine, there would be flyers adorned to nearly every available surface. Probably the few exceptions being, they don't let you put flyers over the mural of the mine workers, right? Things like that. But they're everywhere, and they advertise the fair and all the sort of related events. There's hay rides, haunted houses, tractor pulls, and of course the famous Iron Country Demolition Derby. And for the teenagers of Last Pine, it's sort of the event of the season. It's bigger than homecoming even. I mean, part of that might be the Last Pine Panthers haven't been good in about a decade, but this is the one. This is the thing that everybody's sort of looking forward to. And one of those teenagers, Hannah Allen, one night after working her after school job at the Double Z Diner, decides to take the long way home, hoping to kind of sneak a peek at the setup for the carnival. And I think we sort of, get, this is kind of the cold open, right? And we get a shot of Hannah squeezing through a gap in the fence, making her way into this sort of big lot near the football field where, they're setting up the midway, the big top, all the rides. And we see her looking over the half-built tents and machinery illuminated in the moonlight and kind of trying to discern exactly what's what. And we see lightning crack and jump across the sky, and she kind of jumps. And suddenly she feels very alone, and she starts kind of moving through the darkness more quickly, kind of looking behind her, trying to cut to the other side of the lot closer to home. And here on the other side, the fence stands wide open, maybe a lucky break. And she looks back at the partially assembled carnival and then both ways to cross the street. And on the other side, she glances back again. And from the darkness, a single black balloon drifts across the lot as if it were following her. It travels low and straight until it's right in front of her, and then pop. And here we have our, our theme song and all of that stuff. Junior, being our resident 18-year-old, how, hanging around like this, how much are you hanging around people that are still in high school?
Yeah, I think quite a bit. I think all my buddies, I mean, a lot of them have gone off to college, but not, given the community, maybe not a ton though, actually, on second thought, so there's probably a lot of people hanging around, after college, kind of spinning their wheels. So yeah, quite a few, I'd say.
Okay.
Listen
And you
to
still,
metal, reading comics, kind
yeah.
of not quite adults, not quite children.
Yeah. What's the place in Last Pine where the teenagers kind of go to hang out? So when I was growing up, there was a video rental store, and in the back room there was a pool table and some arcade cabinets and stuff, and we would hang out back there or behind the place and go smoke cigarettes and steal change from people's cars and things like that. What's the place for Junior and Junior's kind of band of metal loving miscreants?
Sure. I'm looking at the map right now. I think we hang out. See, there's some railroad tracks. What's number 9 here? Last Pine General Hospital. Maybe there's railroad tracks. There used to be a train station back there, behind the hospital. So maybe we get drive back there and hang out and drink beer and whatnot.
Sure, yeah. Smash the bottles against the train tracks.
Right.
Yeah, I think this is, you have a night off from work and you're hanging out back here with some of your old friends that maybe you aren't seeing as much anymore these days because you're working a lot and you're hanging out with Gran. And one of the folks here is a kid. He's still in high school. He's probably, maybe he's a senior or junior somewhere in there. And his name is Ollie Young, and he looks just like kind of spooked. And him as like he's this kid who's like, he's on the football team, but like really he wants to write poetry, I think. And he's good. He's like sort of like, without trying, he's good at football. I mean, as good as the Panthers ever are, which lately is not great. But like it's not really not where his passion is. And he kind of always has this sort of like melancholic kind of vibe, but like he seems like especially sort of out of it uh, uh, tonight. And you hear him talking to another kid. I'm gonna say Bob. I don't know. And he's talking to Bobby. It's definitely Bobby. He's talking to Bobby, and you kind of hear him talking about his friend Hannah, who I think maybe a little bit. I don't know how well you know Hannah. And like Ollie just seems like really freaked out. Like Hannah's missing. Like you overhear that she called him when she got home and kind of told him this story about this like creepy balloon, and then they had plans to hang out today, but there was no trace of her. She didn't show up to school. She wasn't home. Her parents hadn't seen her. I think they assumed that she, just left early to get to school, and there's been sort of no trace.
Hmm.
What do you make of this?
I think I will go up to Ollie and I'll say, Hannah's missing, you say? Well, Black Balloon, where was that at?
Oh yeah. You know Hannah Jr.?
Yeah,
Um
yeah.
oh yeah, she told me that she cut through the fairgrounds on the way home from work last night. And there was this like creepy balloon that followed her, and she said it exploded. And then she kind of just was freaked out and went home, and she called me right away when she got home. But um supposed to hang out with her today, and no one knows where she is.
Well, let's go by her house and see if she, maybe her parents got her grounded or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess that
I can
could
take you over
be.
there. I can take you over there and slay her. I point.
Oh,
I look with pride over, where my truck is parked.
yeah, and his eyes actually kind of light up a little bit. Like this is the first time you've seen him have any like excitement so far tonight. He's like, "Wait, really? I can ride in Slayer?"
Yeah, you could ride shotgun.
Junior, all the kids have been talking about your truck so much.
Sure.
Can I ask a question? Slayer, I don't. Has this like a truck you've had all along, and it's only just now appearing on screen because of the advance, or
No.
you just got it?
Yeah, like Grant. The backstory is that Grant and I have been working on it. When I have a couple bucks, I buy like a radiator or whatever. I get looking at the picture I have, like a ram bar or like what the lights and all that stuff. Anyways, no, it's been this like project for probably months and years,
But
and now
like,
it's
so
finally come out to the light.
is it the kind of thing where like everyone knows you've been working on it and like kind of assumed you would never actually get it done?
Right. That sounds good.
Yeah. So like that, like he's like, wow, like this thing is real and it's awesome.
Well, and I think also just like, I mean, somebody getting a new truck and something that's like fucking badass like this, like that's big news in a town like Last Pine.
Mhm.
And yeah, so all this is like the first hint of like any kind of like excitement or joy you've seen on this kid all night. He's like, should we go now? And he kind of like starts talking back to Bobby again. It's like, hey man, I'm gonna go for a ride in Slayer.
Yeah, let's cruise out of here. It's dead around here tonight, anyways, and I've got that new new Slayer tape in the deck. Anyways, I want to hear you. I want to see what you think.
We're gonna
There's
listen to Slayer in Slayer.
Yeah,
Oh man, that's like almost like too much Slayer.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
And
and
it's got like I don't know a lot about trucks, but what's like the little door in the back, of the pickup truck in the bed?
the gate.
The gate, yeah, on the gate it has in red letters Slayer.
Yeah. In
stenciled
like the
on there,
Slayer
right?
font.
Yeah, I have a picture of
Yeah.
that on the NPCs too. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, he climbs in. I think like he kind of has to like pull himself up a little bit to to get up there, and yeah, you can drive over to Hannah's house if that's what you'd like to do.
Sure.
Yeah. And I think, sorry, for some reason I have an extra window open here. Just a sec.
Can I be the creepy dark-haired pale girl that they inevitably see hitchhiking on a spooky tale like this?
Yeah. Why is Hope hitchhiking tonight?
Well, because I don't have a car.
Yeah.
Um,
So where are you trying to
but-
get?
I should look like a urban legend
Mhm.
for as long as possible. I'm trying to get back to town. I went walking and it got dark.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
I'm walking back, but oh look, there's a car.
Oh, wait, we gotta pull over here. I pull over. I
And
think.
then yeah, look, it's a strange, pale, black, dark-haired girl with red eyes.
Super
So
hot.
you look like the girl from The Ring, is what you're saying?
Or or every urban legend.
Yeah.
You know,
But Junior recognizes you right away, or do you think Junior wouldn't?
this is close to Halloween, right? So I'm dressed up.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah, does Junior recognize me? Yes, but his friend is probably freaked out.
Yeah. Ollie's like, wait, why are you stopping for that person? That looks like someone who's going to kill us.
I step up.
No way,
onto
man. She's cool.
I step up onto the gate and I stare in, and I go, "Oh, there's two of you. Good."
Hope, Ollie, Hope.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
Did I
You work
scare
at
you?
the library, is that
Did I
right?
scare you? I was trying to scare you.
We established she
I'm
worked
a little
at the,
scared.
Yeah, work in the library. Yeah, she works at the library. Maybe you saw her. You're always checking out stuff out of there. You've probably seen her.
Yeah. You look different tonight.
Oh, that's because I'm wearing my spooky robes, and I have dark eye makeup and
Really spooky.
yeah. Well,
You did a good job.
yay.
So is this a situation where now all three of you are
Yes.
crammed in the cab of the truck, or does someone have to ride?
I
in the
think
back?
Ollie's Hope is probably smushed in the middle between us, right?
Okay.
Which is
Yeah, I'll just climb right over. What's his name?
Ollie.
Ollie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just which is gonna be
Is the truck a manual?
I was just thinking that's probably true. So that
I can sit cross-legged on the seat. That's fine.
yeah, but
Hope is not a big person.
did they like back? I don't remember if it was true in the '90s, but I remember like in the '80s or whatever, you'd be in a truck and they had one long seat in the front, but then there would be the stick shift, but it'd be kind of like put like out,
Sure.
away from the seat a little bit, so you could
Yeah, that's fine.
you could smush people in there. I don't know.
Mhm. That's
Maybe it's
fine.
reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is not the amount of detail that's really important.
Sure.
I think it's funny though.
It is, yeah. Well, yeah, and I really like that image of
Especially
Hope
because
sitting-
I can just crowd your friend Bobby there, which will probably make him turn red.
Yeah.
I think it's Ollie that's with us. Not
Ollie, I'm
Bobby,
sorry.
right? Yeah.
Ollie.
I was like, it's okay. You can call me Bobby.
So I'll
And,
say to Hope, I'll say Ollie's missing a friend of ours, Hannah. She saw a black balloon. Nobody's seen her since her. And since then, maybe I give Hope a little bit of a meaningful look, like
A spooky balloon.
Yeah. I mean, a black balloon in the middle of the night. I think that's any sort of that's always spooky, right?
It's not very
It's a
scary.
given.
No, well, hold on. Hope.
Can't you do better than that? No,
Hope,
what if it looked like a black balloon, but really it popped and there was this horrible ghost that came out with fangs. But
Ollie is just like freaked out. Hope, you you probably remember a piece of graffiti in your so this is Last Pine. You were in
Right.
Lost Pine, right?
That's what they.
Um,
Yeah, the sign had been defaced to read
yeah,
Lost
yeah.
Pine.
And in your Lost Pine, there was a piece of like graffiti that would show up with a stenciled black balloon.
Oh, wonderful! In which case, when they mention the black balloon, Hope suddenly just like freezes. She's like,
Yeah.
"What? A black a balloon? Really?"
Yeah, yeah, just it's like a black balloon. It was really creepy, I guess. And then it popped, and I don't know.
Oh,
I don't think the balloon's the big deal. I think the fact that she's missing is the big deal. There's just like the balloon's creepy detail.
oh, I don't know. I don't like the sound of that balloon.
Okay, well, we're
Hope
just gonna
says
go
by
over to
rhythm.
Hannah's folks' place and see if they
Yeah,
know what's going on.
yeah. Do yeah, let's do that. Do we know where she was?
Where she was or where she lives or both?
Well,
I think you
I
know
I think you
mean,
all.
said
I
it
think you know all
was
of that.
by the football
I
field. They're setting
Mhm.
up the midway or whatever.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. Let's go talk to her folks. Maybe they know where she was last.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So, y'all are driving off towards the Allen residence.
Hope giggles every time they go over a bump.
Harold, what are you doing tonight? Is it? Well, let me ask. Why are you doing something different than your normal nightly routine of going to the Last Pint?
Well, first of all, the Last Pint is closed.
Mm,
Because everyone's going to the demolition derby.
mm. Yeah.
My plan is to get shit faced and watch cars run into each other till one of them can't drive anymore.
Yeah. 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 So why don't we say
Is that
so
cool? I know we hadn't like
yeah.
really established the festival kind of
Yeah, my thought was that the festival was still kind of like this was last night that Hannah went through there, and they're still setting stuff up. So maybe I didn't know that tonight would necessarily be opening night, but maybe the demolition derby is like a pre-festival thing.
yeah. I wonder if it's like if it's like the sort of like the big the festival's not open during the day and it opens that
Mm,
night, you know,
mm,
right?
yeah, yeah,
It opens that night with the demolition derby, and then the next
yeah,
day it's like the sort of the fair, excuse me, all
yeah,
the
yeah,
normal fair stuff,
yeah,
and
yeah.
then
Oh, I
there's
like
like
that.
some
Yeah.
other, over some other evening event, whatever
Mm-hmm.
concert of the local bands, and then leading up
Mm-hmm.
to whatever, um, and
All
the
the
demolition
all the
derby is like straight up locals, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
there's
Oh
a
yeah,
may-
yeah, yeah.
maybe there's like maybe the last night there's another one with like some folks that come in from Michigan and Wisconsin too,
Mm-hmm.
but bigger
foreigners.
names on the circuit. But this opening night thing is all locals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, this is like the qualifying event,
Yeah, there we
right?
go.
Yeah, yeah. And then the closing event of the entire fair is like the big, yeah, the big demolition derby. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I love it.
Tonight also has the Slayer cover band competition.
Yeah. So you're getting shit faced and heading to the demo derby.
Yeah, I mean, or heading to the demo derby a little bit buzzed and then getting shit faced. Unclear.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
And if
I
Hannah
think
was walking home, maybe her house isn't too far from there.
Yeah, I would say it's probably not too far from there at all. Maybe let me bring up the map real quick.
I mean, I'm happy to show up there or whatever. Like maybe I see
Yeah.
Slayer as I'm driving by, and I'm like, "Whoa, Slayer!"
Yeah.
I see a water tower right by there. I wonder if that's a very iconic sort of upper Midwest type thing.
Sure. Yeah.
Small towns with these water towers.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's
Mhm.
a water tower.
It is a water tower. Yeah.
Yeah, either that or a outpost or something.
Yeah, I
All
think
right.
that one's a water tower. There's a radio tower on there too.
Oh,
But
yeah.
yeah, yeah, and yeah, I think you're. Were you driving, Harold, to get to the
Yes.
demolition derby? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think you're like
It's not
at
the
a
kind of town you really walk around unless you're like really,
right, unless you're
in
Hope,
there.
apparently.
Yeah. Well, Hope was hitchhiking.
Um,
Remember?
right, right. Um, so I think I think maybe you're like at a stop sign when you see Slayer go by, and yeah.
And I think I'm just like, oh, let's I like honk and like make a U-turn. I'm like, I gotta catch up. The junior's gonna want to see the demolition derby. Junior's going the wrong way. What's up with that?
Sure.
Oh yeah, is that what all the kids were doing at the railroad tracks? You were pre-gaming for the demo derby?
Yeah, that sounds like a
Yeah.
good idea. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Ollie's like, there's somebody following us. Junior, do you know who that is?
So I'll turn down the music and I'll say, "Oh yeah, that's Harold."
Ope leans over Ollie to flash Harold a metal sign outside the door, outside the window.
I'll pull over. I'll step out, wave at Harold. What up, man?
Well, you're going the wrong way. The derby's better. The festival's right down there. I was almost there. Thought I was gonna see you folks. Whole town's at the gonna be at the derby.
Jinkies, we have a mystery to investigate.
Yeah,
Frown.
Ollie's girl we know, Hannah, is
What?
missing.
If only we had a relatively intelligent dog.
You
No.
got Humphrey, right? You got Humphrey in your bag or something?
Yeah, he's right here.
Junior, you know that guy?
Yeah, he's cool.
He looks scary.
He is
Yeah,
scary,
he is scary, but he's cool.
but I'm scarier. Says Hope, not at all being scary, but
It's also
trying.
probably a different kind of scary, right?
Hope's trying to lay on the movie monster thing thick, and she's
Yeah.
not succeeding.
Yeah.
But she's so cute,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Harold, do you follow them to this kid's
Yeah,
house then? Is that
I rub my eyes and I'm like, I want to go to the derby. But I'm gonna follow them, right? I mean, this is what we do. We have we have some kind of a pact with the town that I will remember in a moment. Right? We're gonna protect them from something.
I'm having fun. Are you not having fun?
So yeah, you Junior, you pull up to the Allen residence, and I think it's it's a pretty simple house, like kind of probably one of those sort of like mid-century kind of single level homes, and you as far as you can tell, people are home. You can see that lights are on, and there's a car in the driveway. Yeah, and a man who's older than you would have expected answers the door and is just like, "Oh, hi. What can I help you with?"
Hi, I'm Hope. Your house is in really good shape.
Oh, thank you. Yes, we take good care of it. It's very important to us. Hope. Oh, Ollie. Oh, hi, Mr. Allen. And you are pointing at you, Junior.
My name's I probably use my real name.
Arnold.
Yeah, I'm Arnold. Nice to meet you, Mr. Allen. We all know your daughter, and Ollie says he hasn't seen her or been able to reach her. We're just a little concerned about her because apparently she had a bad scare coming home from work the other night.
A bad scare. I mean, I guess I'll be honest. I haven't seen her, but she usually rises early to go to not cheerleading. What's the thing that's like cheerleading?
It's like a dance thing.
Yeah, like I don't know. She goes to not cheerleading practice early every morning, and then she goes to school, and she goes right to her job at the diner, and then she usually comes home pretty late. But Hannah's a good kid. We trust her. We don't check in on her too much. Ollie, are you saying that Hannah wasn't at school today? I'm not going to do the thing where I'm talking to myself as two
Did you call the
NPCs.
Did you call the diner?
Who are you asking, Mr. Allen or
Yeah,
Ollie?
Mr.
Ollie,
Allen. Did you
probably
call the
Ollie.
diner?
No, well, I didn't know that Hannah was missing. This is quite alarming news. I can call
Well,
the diner now.
Why don't you call the
Um,
diner and see if she left okay?
And I think he kind of takes a moment, like looking the three of you over, or four of you. Harold, are you here at the door too?
I'm trying to like. I think I'm kind of like looming behind them.
Mhm.
I have. I think I like.
This
He
is Harold.
probably.
He's our adult supervision.
If he, yeah, well, that's why I'm. And like, if he's kind of looks like every now and then, like my finger twitches to my pocket, like I want to go and grab a cigarette to light, and I
Mhm.
catch myself. I'm like, that's not the
Mhm.
play here.
Yeah, yeah.
But he can see me looking kind of uncomfortable.
So you're kind of off a little bit.
I'm like
Oh, okay.
the way I'm picturing it is right. Like there's four people. We can't all crowd right in the doorway, right?
Right,
If there's
right,
like
yeah,
a little
yeah.
stoop or whatever, right? So I'm picturing like Ollie Hopen Jr. kind of like crowded up, like trying to talk at the door, and like I'm kind of like 2 steps back and much bigger than any of them.
Right. Yeah.
I guess I don't know how big Ollie really is, but I picture, Junior and Hope is kind of on the smaller side, and Harold's a big guy, and maybe Junior's tall and thin. I don't know, but either way, I'm kind of like like I'm there. I'm like, but just kind of like, maybe. The image is kind of like the adult who's supervising the trick-or-treating kids, right? I think that's the like physical positioning, but obviously that's like a weird.
Even though Hope's the only one who's dressed up for trick or treat.
Yeah. And yeah, I think he acknowledges that you're there for the first time, Harold. He sort of like looks over the 3 kids, about to sort of invite them in while he makes this phone call, and then he sees you.
How old is he? Do you think
he's like? I would say he is like in his 70s, probably.
Okay. Oh, you said older than we thought, right?
Yeah, older than you would expect for a junior in high school's dad.
Parent. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I asked him. You're her dad?
Yes. Yeah. She was our happy accident, we like to say. You are?
So
who am I in this moment?
You're Harold.
I'm Harold. I think what I say is I'm hold on, give me 1 second. I think because like I have roots in this town. I think Matthew. I'm Harold. Bill Havamaki's son. Matthew was my grandfather. Like trying to like put myself in context for this. For this person to like if he has like roots in the town or whatever. I think that's how I often when I'm trying to be normal.
Yeah, I worked with your grandfather in the mines, and I supervised your father until I retired.
Yeah. So that's my family. I'm just kind of
Forgive me for being forward, Harold, but it's a bit strange to see you here with these children.
How old is Hope?
Hope looks like she's 22.
Right. So she's also like I'm 24. She's 22.
Okay. I guess in my head it was.
Hope looks younger than she is.
Right. Yeah.
So him thinking that Hope is a high school student is perfectly
right. It's not crazy.
Excuse me for one.
Hope, in fact, could pass for 16. Honestly, you know.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
And she's got that that innocent vibe.
Okay. So
Yeah,
yeah,
so I
maybe
think
he
I-
doesn't quite. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah. I think what I say is someone's got to make sure the kids stay out of trouble. I was just gonna we're heading to the demo derby when we heard about your daughter, and so
Oh.
I don't
Okay
know.
then.
I
well-
don't know that that's believable. By the way, I like maybe
Yeah, I don't-
but that's the line.
Yeah. I don't know if Harold can tell that he doesn't believe it, but I think it's pretty obvious.
Mhm.
But nonetheless he invites the four of you in. Just, make yourself at home while I call over to the diner. And he calls into the other room. Honey, can you bring out you have some cookies ready, right? And 1, 2, 3, 4 glasses of milk. And shortly thereafter, a woman who's probably 20 years younger, maybe even a little bit more, comes out with a tray of cookies and gives you each a glass of milk as you make yourself comfortable in the couch and or in the furniture around the sort of living room. And he and Mr. Allen goes off into the kitchen to make the phone call. And why don't we take our first break here and be back at, let's say, can we just say a 7-minute break, be back at the top of the hour?
Sure.
All right, I'll see you then.
On candy there, Jax.
Oh yeah, she we had a drunken treat, and she and my partner were just at that and got home about 10 minutes ago, a little bit more maybe. And so my 4-year-old child, dressed as Beetlejuice, is just like, so
Nice.
hopefully letting a 4-year-old watch Beetlejuice isn't something that like someone can call social services on me for.
No, it all seems pretty clean at this point.
Yeah, it's
At the time, yeah.
I mean, shrimp and Deo, and it's all very, very Muppety.
Yeah.
I remember watching it when I was like, geez, what year did that come out? 86 or something?
Yeah,
Probably like
87
15
maybe.
or 16. I think I had a crush on Winona Ryder because
Oh sure.
I think she, was Heather's before that or after it. Anyways,
After, I think.
Yeah.
and then I watched it as like it was real, like she was goth, but she wasn't really goth. It was clearly like someone's idea in Hollywood of goth. So I'm like, this is fake, and that was pretty much the end of me and Winona Ryder.
An actress is fake.
Well, the actress, I guess, I realized that she wasn't really goth, so I guess I assumed Winona Ryder wasn't really goth either. But in hindsight now, maybe she kind of was actually.
I feel like she probably actually was. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
she very well might have been.
Yeah, so Beetlejuice was 88 and Heather's was 89.
Yeah, I saw that movie when I was like 7 or something. I think there was like a kids cartoon of it.
There was a Saturday morning
There was a
cartoon.
kids cartoon that I watched, and I was like, I want to watch the movie, and my parents were like, that sounds okay. And it was fine.
It does have some scary bits, but my kid is
but like
not.
it's like I like scary things. That was like fine.
Yeah.
So, if I can jump in kind of where we left off,
Yeah.
Unless you wanted to lay something out.
No.
I think this is kind of awkward, but I think this is the point of the move. So I'm going to try to trigger my move. Trust me. So I'm going to say like, wow, these are really good cookies, Mrs. Allen. Harold and I'm locking up on your name again, Brandon. Hope. Harold and Hope and I, we've been noticing, a lot of people have been noticing weird things around the city lately, and we've noticed some weird stuff. And I'm just curious, have you noticed anything strange about what's going on with Hannah lately or what she's been doing?
Mm.
I'm sure it's nothing to worry about, but, have you noticed anything worth talking about?
Yeah. Yeah, why don't you make that roll? I think this is risky.
Okay.
I think that I think sort of the risk here, right, is kind of maybe tipping your hand a little bit too much, or maybe her actually thinking something really serious is going on,
Sure.
which could potentially be a complication.
Okay. Does that sound more to you like a connect or a sway?
I think you tell me what does it feel like to you?
It's probably more sway actually.
Mm-hmm.
So I got one die there.
Okay.
I
should probably
do,
open
if
it up.
I'm triggering my Trust Me move, I get to increase my result by a level.
Mm-hmm.
So the worst that can happen here is a 4-5 result. My luck is at 0. I might as well go ahead and push myself. I'll get a second die. I'm happy with that unless anybody wants to assist.
I don't know how helpful I can be here.
Sure. Okay. I'll just go with 2 dice then. Let's see what happens. I got a 6, so that's a crit.
All right. Oh yeah. So you're definitely going to get a clue here. I'll look through the list of clues and see what might make sense. Did I actually give a name to Mr. Allen yet?
Mr. Allen.
I don't think you did.
Oh God, it would be so creepy if she called him Mr. Allen, right?
Right.
They could maybe
Like
call
a
him
very-
father.
Very
Oh, that's even worse.
1950s thing.
Yeah.
Father and mother,
Yeah. No, I think I didn't say anything to Ed, but when it was that or Barry. So when I went up to check Hannah's room this morning, I always do, there was she kind of looks and sees that Mr. Allen is on the phone, and she kind of said, hold on, I'll be right back. And she goes in the other room and comes back with this big, like, it looks like a scrapbook or something, and hands it over to you, Junior. And it is a kind of fairly crudely made sort of scrapbook, full of like all this like carnival ephemera, like old flyers, newspaper articles, stuff like that. I don't know if it's for a school project or what this is, but I thought it was very strange. Ollie, do you know what is Hannah working on a project? And Ollie's just kind of like, I don't know. And I think you can tell he's very intimidated for some reason by Mrs. Allen. Yeah, and so if you want to like follow up on anything here, I think that you can, since you got a crit.
Yeah. I mean, I'll kind of be leafing through it, and of course to see if there's any like obvious like meaningful pictures that really stand out. But otherwise, I think I would probably say, wow, that's weird. I didn't know she was into carnivals. Like, has she seen different lately or anything? Like,
hey, there's a carnival going to open up soon, right?
yeah, was she excited about the carnival opening up this week?
I mean,
the county fair?
I feel like all the kids seem to be really excited about the fair. Nothing unusual. Ed would never say anything, but I thought that it was strange that she didn't come down for breakfast this morning. She leaves early for cheer squad, but usually not that early. I get up early. I have something ready for her so she can get it before she goes, and it went untouched. So I didn't think too much of it at the time, but now you're here asking all these questions. I don't know. Should I be worried? And she looks at Ollie, and Ollie's just kind of like, kind of freezes up.
No,
Her
she's probably with friends. This is a pretty exciting time of the year. But she should have called,
Yeah, I'm sure things just got away from her. Jesse, you'd started to say something. Do you have anything before Ed comes back in?
No, I think it's clear that I started saying something, and then when Hope said no, I stopped.
Okay.
Right. And I don't know. Maybe she can see that I maybe disagree. But
yeah, she kind of like cocks
Hope,
her head.
Hope kicks you gently in the shin.
And Mr. Allen walks back in and says, Hannah never showed up for her shift at the Double Z.
Well,
And he looks pretty concerned.
well, she can't do that. She might lose her job if she just doesn't show up. Huh.
Right. And this is very, very unlike Hannah. She's a very responsible girl.
You guys are so lucky.
Could the four of you please tell me what's really going on?
we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. Like I was telling Mrs. Allen that things have been kind of weird lately. I don't know if you noticed, but I mean,
I didn't
the
notice
old
anything.
I forget what the building was last week. That burned down or that had the fire.
The antique store.
And
That was exciting.
And people lights have been going out at the 76, and people say they see a guy walking around. So yeah, I mean things are kind of weird lately. But yeah, maybe you should call the police.
I mutter under my breath.
Mhm.
I think loud enough that Hope and Junior can certainly hear me. I fucking wish Dale were here. And I say,
I'm sure it'll be fine. Everything will be fine. We'll go ask some of her friends and see if she's seen her. I'm sure somebody has.
look, has she aside from this, the scrapbook, like anything at all you can remember, anything weird, anything different?
Maybe I'll pass the book over to Hope while they're talking and see if Hope spots it.
Ooh, I love books.
You're probably a little better at spotting than I would be.
Yes, I'm going to leaf through the book.
Yeah. We'll come to what you see in just a moment, Hope. I think that Mr. Allen kind of, shares a look with Mrs. Allen and says, I ran into Hannah after she came home last night. She was later than usual, and she did seem a little strange. She seemed, I don't know. I don't have a lot of familiarity with the effects of marijuana and other drugs, but maybe it was that. It's quite unlike Hannah.
I know a little something about strange, and I think I'm trying to connect here.
Okay.
If you think that's like if there's like a comforting kind of thing I'm trying to do. I'm like, look, I never worked those mines. My father did. My grandfather did. Junior says something weird stuff is going on here recently, but you and I both know it's nothing new, right? There's been all kinds of stories about those mines.
I think when you say that, he looks at his wife and says, "Dear, please go in the other room." And she listens and does that.
And the kids can all stay, but she has to leave.
By the way, Harold and Junior, you would both know that Hope is acting a little oddly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I mean, she's seems a little surprised by some of the things you have just said.
Okay, that's fine. So I say this place, maybe it's weirder now, but it's always been weird. I know something about that. We know something about that. And I mean, he could see how, like, the tattoos on my head, the tattoos on my arms, my generally unhinged affect. Like, I think this is believable and maybe a little scary, but also I'm trying to be like, connect with him in this sort of that, like, but we have this shared thing about weirdness. What did you see? What was she being like? And I'm definitely pushing for a clue here, if that's something I can do.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So that's, I'd like to roll connect.
So you have one in connect. This is risky.
Yeah, this is risky. Yeah. I think, do you have a deal you want to offer me?
I feel like all the best deals that always come to mind are things that would play out in a campaign. Because the thing that comes to mind here is that I think that he would let some colleagues at the mine know that someone is talking like this about this stuff.
Yeah. Well, I wonder, here's an idea that could come up later, right? Which is, but I don't know if it's necessarily like, I don't know that we need a deal like his wife hears this and it leads her into danger. That's like endangering a civilian, but I don't know.
Oh yeah, no, I like that a lot. Yeah, like maybe she's gonna go try to find Hannah
or something, right?
Yeah.
So that's 2 dice. Anyone want to help me out?
Let me see. How could I help?
I do want to save my stress to punch things with, but
yeah. I think I would. Maybe I get up and I leave the room too. So like I'm the youngest, so maybe he feels more comfortable talking, with more adult folks. Maybe I take Ollie and we go outside. They say, "Hey, Ollie, let's
great.
go outside, look around, see if we spot anything."
Yeah.
So leaving the older folks to talk to these guys. Okay.
I don't look like it.
Okay.
Besides, I'm reading the book.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. I'm looking through the book.
Yeah. All right. So that's 3 dice. Sorry, I don't have the die roller open. My bad. Let's be quick. Okay. Okay, so that's 3d6. And roll them. Risky position. That's a 5.
Okay. Yeah. So he looks you dead in the eye with a sort of, sort of serious, sober kind of look. I mean, he's a pretty serious guy, if if that hasn't come across, but this feels almost a little chilling as he says, "Good night, Papa." As he says, it was like she was empty. It was like, I don't presume to know what it would be like to meet someone who doesn't have a soul, but I felt cold when I talked to her.
I don't actually say I'm sorry, but I wince, right? There's like a real, I think, a sympathetic wince there. And
you can describe that clue, I guess, however you like. And on my list, it's a soulless teen.
Yeah, I think that works. Trying to find the proper tab for that.
Is that a clue in addition to the carnival ephemera?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And yeah. So, and then what's the consequence?
I think. I mean, I think here's the thing: is that things are moving in the background. I think the consequence is just I'm going to tick the countdown clock once.
Sounds good. I will not resist that.
Yeah.
I say, look, thanks. I can't make any promises. But we'll do what we can to find your daughter. And I like reach into my pocket and I pull out like it's like I guess like a I forget what one of those flask sized bottles of cheap whiskey, maybe Old Granddad. And it's half, if it's like 2/3 full. And I just sort of like set it on the table for him or for them, I guess. And and I say, find what comfort you can, but we'll do our best. And I walk out.
Yeah. And I think the camera lingers kind of on the, on the bottle on the table, and then sort of dollies forward towards the closed kitchen door, and kind of going, zooms into the keyhole and then goes through, and we see Mrs. Allen kind of nervously smoking a menthol cigarette, one of the hundreds, right, one of the long ones, and kind of looking around, and listens to make sure that Ed isn't coming, and picks up the phone and dials and just says, "It happened again." Outside the house, Hope, you have the scrapbook, and as you're paging through it, you see I think it's a postcard that looks just like that graffiti that you used to see. This black balloon.
I give a little eep.
Yeah. And I think the words by this balloon in the postcard are "Barking Billy's back." I don't know that you've seen those words before. I think you've just seen the balloon, but yeah.
Here it is.
You all right, Hope? What did you find?
This.
Is that the balloon? That must be what she was talking about.
That's the balloon. I mean, that's the picture. I don't know what. I don't know what the balloon is exactly, but it was a graffiti on the wall. Something bad. Something really, really bad. Junior, what explosion?
What explosion?
Yeah.
I don't follow. What do you... Oh, you mean the fire?
The fire. Yes, fire.
Yeah.
Was a fire?
Yeah, remember the fire last week? What was the building, Jax? I don't even remember where it was at.
It was like an antique store.
Yeah, that's right. I remember when we found
there was a fire in the antique store.
That Emerald woman.
Not the book. Not the bookstore.
Right, it was not the bookstore.
Yeah, I think it was an antique store. Yeah.
Oh.
Remember that when we got the dagger and the
and then there was
the spectral woman.
Something at the 69 at the Phillips
76.
76.
Yeah, like remember we talked to the stranger a couple weeks back?
No.
You don't remember any
Shit.
of that, Hope? Are you all right? I mean, you were there. It wasn't that long
You
ago.
were very much there.
You're pretty sharp usually. You don't remember that?
I
And I'll put my arm like around her. I'll be like, "Are you okay?"
I'm fine. But I have to tell you something.
Okay.
I wasn't there.
What do you mean you weren't there? You were there. You were right beside me.
No, another one of me was there.
Uh,
I know that doesn't necessarily make a whole lot of sense.
so like,
A lot of things happen really similarly. So, but the weird stuff is different sometimes.
And you like can't control when you move from like.
No, I can, but I did.
Yeah.
I moved because something bad happened last time that I wasn't able to deal with, or that something terrible happened, and so I went and came back. So that I'd be ready next time.
Ollie is just standing here like, what the fuck?
Right.
This
Yeah.
time. Ollie, why are you so freaked with Mr. Allen?
It's not Mr. Allen that freaks me out. It's his wife.
What's the matter with her?
She's just, I don't know, like she just is intimidating. I don't know. Oh, sorry, my chair just unlocked. I don't know that I have words for it. She just like, I don't know.
She looks right through you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she kind of does, doesn't she?
Ollie strikes me as easily intimidated.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I kind of
Ollie
do
is-
one of these like things.
No. Yeah.
Did you see it?
except that
Did
he
you see
wasn't.
it too, Hope?
I saw Ollie freeze up weird when Mrs. Allen was looking at him. And unless Ollie's like, kicked her dog or something, which I don't think he has.
No, I've never been nothing but nice to the Allens. I mean,
then,
Hannah's my best friend.
there's something totally wrong, Arnold. There's something wrong with Mrs. Allen too. Or maybe just wrong with Mrs. Allen. Honest.
I've known
Because
that
Mr. Allen didn't have that vibe at all.
Yeah.
He didn't. I mean, I was watching Ollie, and it's just like, hey, Mr. Allen, him,
I love the idea of this conversation taking place with Ollie right there.
Well, no,
Right.
that's right. I'm just saying, Ollie, if you'd had a mirror,
I guess.
right? Mr. Allen's
I-
fine, and Mrs. Allen is weird, right?
She's weird.
Yeah.
For sure. Can we try to go find Hannah or like?
Yeah, let's do that. I think we need to go look at fairgrounds because that's where the balloon was.
Well, I mean, the other thing I think we should do, I guess I said it to Mr. Allen, but I think we should probably call the police too. I mean, like
Police aren't
they can
gonna
get some boots on the ground to look around and see if they can find her.
Fairgrounds
so that they can get in their way like they did in the antique store.
And I
Did they
think
get
That would
in
have
the way
gone
at the
much
antique
more
store?
smoothly if they had not been there.
Is that what happens?
Yeah, the police were there, and it just made it harder for us to try to sort things out. But I mean, this is kind of what they do, right? I mean, they put out an all points bulletin.
Yeah.
And
What they do
they
is
call,
they file a report.
That's
they call the
nothing-
state police.
They
and all
file
that.
a
Yeah.
report. They look around the scene, and then they go away.
Yeah, no, you remember what happened with the scarecrow where they hung around that for like they had a deputy like
No,
watching it for
we
2
weren't
days.
there for that, Hope. That was something else. And I'll probably at this point pull Ollie aside, because I
Mhm.
probably see the shock in his face. I'll be
Yeah,
like, Ollie,
he's
look,
like,
look, you're right. We need to find Hannah, but let me give you the short version. Like, I hang around these guys with Harold and Hope and Dale, and I guess we kind of call ourselves the weirdos, and we realize that there's a lot of weird stuff going on around the county, and some of it's pretty spooky. I mean, we've grown up here our whole lives. We all know that the forest has got some weird stuff out there. So we're realizing that whatever it is, it's been getting worse, and we're trying to sort it out, together, working together. And it's
okay,
really heavy and it's hard to handle, when it's laid out in front of you like this, I'm sure.
can I have
But
a ride home?
yeah,
I trust you, Junior, to find Hannah. I'd like to go home now, please.
sure.
All right.
Cool.
Meet you at the fairgrounds, Junior.
Yeah, let's meet up there. Let's meet up where she might have seen this balloon, maybe.
Yeah. Hope you with
Yeah.
me. You can show me where the balloon was.
I can show you where the graffiti was.
Great.
Yeah,
Um,
it was.
yeah, I mean, Jason, unless you have any ideas about something that'd be interesting with the scene of dropping off.
Mhm.
Okay, so yeah, let's just
No.
cut to the fairgrounds, and I think we hear the sounds of the demolition derby, starting up. We see the lights. I think that probably the demolition derby is actually taking place in the football field.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Which, like, I don't know how they
Yeah.
do that so they can repair it in time for homecoming or whatever, but like that's
Right.
definitely where
I,
it
I
is.
have to imagine this is like the most expensive thing the town pays for is like resodding that
yeah.
football field.
Yeah, and they have to
after-
do it
at-
twice.
Twice. Well, is homecoming in the middle of this thing?
Oh yeah, I guess probably not. That'd be funny, but
Right.
probably not.
Yeah.
There's got to be some big vacant lot where they do it. They set up lights and
Mhm.
things like that.
There's like one booster who's like really into who pays for it.
Right? Yeah.
Owns a little used car dealership. Anyways.
Yeah.
So where
So
is
yeah,
it,
you
Hope?
can. Yeah, it's well, it was stenciled on a concrete wall. Well, this fence wasn't here, but I guess it'd be just it's inside there, over on the south side.
Yeah, and let me just sort of paint the scene here a little bit, and I'm just gonna reimagine the map a little bit. Let's just imagine that sort of to the east of the football field, there's a big lot. Maybe the river is a little further over, and that's where the fairgrounds are. And yeah, sort of, you can see, most of the rides are set up now. You can see like a Ferris wheel. You can see, all the kind of the big stuff, and there's sort of like just like a fence that goes along the perimeter of the entire fairgrounds, and on the side that you're on is just kind of a chain link gate that is locked with a thick chain and a padlock.
Here's a question. I'm like wondering a little bit about this also on the load sheet too. Like, is there something that's just like mundane tool?
I see something that says
Yeah.
multi-tool there. Do you have that in your list?
Yeah, so I don't have something like that.
Yeah.
I
But I feel like
hand
on
it to
shows
you.
like Supernatural, like they can often like go into the trunk of their car and grab some bolt cutters, right? Because
Mhm.
that's the kind of thing that hunters tend to have on them.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely think that
I'll go ahead. I have multi-tool on my list. I'll mark it, and then if that fits, and
Sure.
I'll hand it to you, Harold. I'll be like, oh, here you go, and I pull it out behind my seat.
Yeah. So Junior kind of pulls up right as you're looking around for something to get this to cut this with, and here's Junior with the
just like go ahead and cut the lock.
Yeah, and it falls to the ground with a loud sort of clanging thud, and you're able to go in to the fairgrounds. I think right away you see the wall that Hope is talking about. There's no graffiti on it now. I think probably it's posters for some of the events and things like that. Sort of like wheat pasted to the wall, basically. And yeah, the fairground sort of it's not huge. It's not like as big as like a state fair or something might be, but it's pretty impressive. And there's sort of just this kind of like main thoroughfare that opens up to the midway and all of that, and then some kind of paths that go off to the side that go to probably like the carnival games and things like that.
Does it kind of like have night lights?
I think there's some lights on, but it's pretty dim. It's pretty spooky.
Nobody's actually in here right now. I think
Nobody's
that's
in
kinda
here
clear,
right now,
but yeah,
though.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. But like next door at the high school stadium, we can hear the the action of the
Oh yeah.
And the
yeah.
music and the bass shattering music, that thing.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
The
pow,
loud
pow,
music,
pow, pow.
the revving engines, the sounds of cars colliding and people cheering.
Mhm. Okay.
I'm definitely like looking wistfully at the
Yeah.
cast a wistful glance.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
So yeah, I'll flick on a flashlight.
Now I was gonna say, I had asked Ollie if that's okay, like where she said she saw this balloon.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we can go to there if that's in this area here somewhere.
Yeah, so I think he tells you. So you probably, since you're coming from the Allen residence, you're probably at the side that she left from, right? That she left out of. So like it started following her, probably halfway down the midway, and it popped when she crossed the street over to the other side.
I see.
So probably like where you pull up is about where she was when it popped. Yeah, I mean, if you want to look around, you can see if there's any, if there's still remnants of a pop balloon, or you can go deeper into the fair and kind of look around and see what you can find there. For right now, there doesn't seem to be anyone around.
So I think as we're walking in, I'll say to Hope, now I know apparently this wasn't you, but like the other Hope, she had all kinds of like sensors that she could tell if there was like spiritual, monster activity and stuff. I mean, do you have any of that stuff? Monster hunting gear?
Oh, the monster gear? Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I have I have an EM detector here in my bag.
Is it picking up anything, you think? Flip it on, see if we got anything going on here.
Okay. Creep, 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 creep. It doesn't actually creep. It just kind of has little blinking lights, and it's kind of
picturing like a tricorder kind of thing. Is that
it almost it's more like a big tuning fork with lights on it that and it's fairly directional, so you don't have to worry about it.
So it's kind of a divining rod.
Yeah, it's like a divining rod, except it finds gradients of weirdness.
Yeah, and I think that
it looks. And by the way, this one looks unlike the other one. This one looks like somebody made it out of scrap. I mean, in other words, it looks like welded together pieces of junk.
Yeah, and it is I guess pointing you in the direction down one of these kind of little side paths toward this dark corridor.
I'm getting a gradient this way.
What's Humphrey doing right now, by the way? In your bag, or
Humphrey has hopped out of the bag. He doesn't like being carried.
Okay.
Much. He has hopped out of the bag and he's catting along.
Cool.
So I think I'll say.
Oh, you just muted yourself.
He meows.
Yeah, I know.
To,
Let me move ahead and see if I see anything, and
no,
I'll wait for you guys to come forward.
no, don't do that.
I guess I just don't want you guys. It sounds like the whole thing about like losing your soul. I don't want that to happen to anybody.
Well, or you.
Actually, let me ask, because that was, y'all were outside for that. Harold, did you share that with them?
Ollie did say something about it too, though.
I did.
Okay. Yeah,
I did. I think I would have.
Yeah, so Hope Jr. is kind of pushing in front of you to sort of be the first one to.
You can be right in front of me if you want, but you're not getting away.
All right. Well, let's just stay quiet then. All right.
Fine.
And I think this sort of device leads you to. I think it's like a little like fortune telling tent, You can probably if you look inside, it's it's set up in sort of the stereotypical way. There's probably some tarot cards, or there's certainly like a crystal ball, whatever. And as far as you can tell, you don't see anything that seems like particularly out of sorts in there. At least at first glance. What do you do?
Huh.
I would say looking around, but I am absolutely terrible at study. So
I'm totally, yeah. I'm just gonna start to. I'm just gonna give this a good eyeball, and it's like if I were something weird, maybe in a box, or if I were a concealed portal.
Yeah.
Or
a concealed portal. Okay. Yeah, I think you
don't laugh.
No, I like it. I think Hope, if this is you studying here, I think that with your device here, there's nobody around. I think that you're actually in a steady position, at least for right now.
Okay.
So, are you wanting to roll study?
Sure, I can roll study.
Yeah, you have 2 in that. Do you want to push your luck, or here deal with the darkness?
Maybe can someone give me a extra pair of eyes?
Yeah, I can. And then, like we said, Harold can save his luck for the fight. So I'm looking around too.
Harold, did you go into this tent with them, or are you doing something else?
100%. I'm not leaving these kids alone.
Okay.
I got a 4.
Okay. Yeah. So, sorry, brain broken momentarily. Yeah, on a steady 4, you accomplish more than expected, but there's a minor consequence. So I think what you find, you find a something that seems to be wrapped in newspaper. It looks like it's actually it seems to be like a shovel, and you go and you kind of pick it up, and it's a shovel wrapped in newspaper. And if you look at the newspaper, it's from the 1930s. I think there's like headlines from last Pine, when the mines were just opening up, and all kinds of things. And there's this if you take the paper off, there's this kind of like rusting shovel. And as you're looking over it, you hear a loud sound come from outside. Harold, you're closest to the sort of tent flap. What do you do?
I think I flap open that flap, stick my head out.
Yeah, and you see what appears to be a pretty large, shadowy figure kind of scurrying down this corridor.
Yeah, I say, There's something here. I'm going after it, and I just bolt after it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it whatever whoever it is, whoever they are, they kind of like look over their shoulder and see you moving pretty quickly and start running.
Yeah, I mean,
and they're kind of like,
I'm pursuing hard.
yeah.
I think this is probably a scramble.
Okay. Yeah, and they're kind of like, they're like ducking, into like through the different kind of like makeshift alleyways here and stuff, trying to lose you. But yeah, I think that scramble makes a lot of sense here.
Here's a question.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is like, I think, a borderline thing. Can I use relentless? Like, does like running quickly and doggedly, right, count as a feat of physical strength verging on the supernatural? Like, really pushing myself hard there.
If you want, do you is this the place where you want to push your luck?
No, I mean, I do a little bit want to push my luck, but I realize that's not a good use of relentless, because I don't need. I feel like pushing my luck there. I don't know. I guess will it improve my position as well as give me the extra die for pushing? Like, what's that look like mechanically?
Well, it lets you narratively. It lets you do something that otherwise can't be done.
Right, but there's a narrative permission piece, but because it's pushing my luck, there's also like it affects my die roll too. So
right. So here's the thing. I think that this is going to be risky either way, but I think that if you were to use relentless here, I think that you could either sort of maybe actually even cut this person off and kind of get the drop on them, or yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I feel like I want to be stingy about things ever kind of being in a steady position.
Yeah, that's totally fair. That's why I'm trying. I'm trying to figure out like what the fictional position of being supernaturally like.
Right. I think it's that you could push yourself to go past whoever or whatever this is and sort of cut them off at the
like
pass.
Assuming the roll goes well.
Right.
I don't know how much like.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Jesse. No, I was just going to throw out another idea. This might change things too dramatically, but like I'm really good at scramble and I got this truck. So if we change the fiction where it's this long chase where I jump in my truck and then I'm using the truck to drive through here to cut them off and stuff, and like flip it around where like I would do the roll, then that's maybe another possibility. But like I said, that would change things quick.
Does it match the fiction here as we're going through these fairgrounds?
I think it's super badass also, and I would love to see it happen, but it doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Okay. Fair
like
enough.
I think that probably like the main sort of corridor is big enough that your truck could get through, but like
when you say corridor, are you saying like we're inside a building or like we out
we're not. It's just sort of like how the tents are set up and things like that. That it's kind of kind of laid out like streets in a way.
How about if we did that, but then as part like as the devil's bargain, although you don't call it that in this, but would be that I'm trashing the tents and stuff and doing
Don't do that. You might hurt Slayer.
True. No, let's keep it simple. Let's put it back in Jesse's.
Yeah, I'm just you know what? I'm not going to push myself. I'm just gonna run. I'm just gonna push myself as hard as I can.
I'll just assist you. Maybe I block them one time, maybe with Slayer. I'll give you a die with my assist.
Oh, you're like getting out of the tent and getting in your.
So you get out of the tent, run back to your car, drive to try to.
Okay, forget that too. All right, fine enough. All right.
I want to be a fan of the player, but it doesn't super make sense to me.
Sure.
Do you have a deal with the darkness?
You could still help him by yelling, "Hey, he's going for that opening over to the left."
Right. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Deal with the darkness here is.
I mean, there's an easy one. But,
well, tell me your easy one.
my easy one is just exhausted,
Mhm.
right? Like I'm pushing
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah, I think that is it. Yeah, that after this roll, you're going to take the exhausted condition.
But I'm not going to accept that deal I just suggested. Yeah, so that's fine. So I've got Junior's help, 2 dice, risky position. Let's roll it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, that's 5 dice. That's not 2 dice. And roll 2 and a 3.
Fluff.
Yeah, things go badly, and there's a major consequence. So I think when you get to where you're sure this this figure is, there's no one there. At least that's what it seems for a moment, for long enough for you to sort of like feel confused, but maybe also like, okay, maybe I can kind of get my bearings here. I can kind of, catch my breath. And from the shadows, 2 very large figures sort of take form. They're not dissimilar to the creatures that you all ran into last time. Not the like chitinous ones, but the more sort of shadowy humanoid ones. And they are both very, very large. And they give you the distinct impression of kind of like they're twins. They almost look like Tweedledee and Tweedledum or something. But very, very brutal looking rather than kind of silly. What do you do? Oh, actually, I think they act before you can do anything. I think that one of them, and you can resist this if you'd like, but one of them will just say, we'll say Tweedledum, grabs you and throws you to Tweedledee, who kind of grapples you and is holding you in place. Now, Dum is coming back towards you presumably to clobber you. What do you do? I mean, you can resist that if you'd like.
I mean, I'm not going to resist it. I think I'm just going to I'm going to push my luck to make enemies too scared to act against me.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna. I mean, again, I'm gonna turn on my Eldritch Secret Flames. I'm not pushing myself for that. That's just sort of cosmetic, right? And like I'm not expecting to use it in the fight or anything like that. But it looks creepy, scary. And I'm gonna use my most. I've got those. Those chicken claws, those claw tattoos are starting to glow too, I think.
Oh, that's dope.
And I'm saying back the fuck down. And that's a compel.
Yeah. Yeah.
With an extra die from pushing. They're too scared to act against me. They're gonna do something, presumably that is not hit me, but they'll do something if this fails. That's bad.
Yeah, I think it's definitely still risky. But I think actually, what happened sort of. Well, yeah, let's do the roll and see how it goes. I think that what you feel D tense up and actually kind of hold you tighter as he becomes scared. And then you can make this roll and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Does that feel okay? Does that feel in line with too scared to act against you? Like he's not. I mean, like I don't want to be like, oh, he's grappling you harder, and that doesn't feel like fair to the move or something.
Well, they had already physically engaged with them.
Yeah.
So.
They were coming after me, right?
Right. The one had kind of grabbed you and grappled you.
Yeah.
And I think it's mostly just color, right? That as you know, your hands start glowing, all this stuff, that he kind of holds you tighter because he's scared.
Yeah. And that's 2 dice again. That's a 5.
Okay. Well, he drops you, and Dumb kind of backs up a little bit and says in a very sort of strange, distorted voice, "Hey, we don't want any trouble here.
Why are you
We're
making
just-
trouble?
We're just here to do some work for the boss."
Who's your boss? I mean, you'll get me the consequence, I assume, when it's. But
Mhm.
I'm.
We can't tell you that. The other one's like, "We can't tell you that."
I think I just sort of like, raise my fists menacingly.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, Dumb is kind of like, just like, hey, back off. We don't want to hurt anybody. And
I
D
smile when
says,
he says that.
right. And D says, "Well, Billy wants to hurt somebody."
Who's Billy?
I didn't say anything. I didn't say Billy. I said Dill Pickle.
Who's Dill Pickle?
You don't want to know Dill Pickle. Dill Pickle will fuck you up, man.
See about that.
And I think, tell me if this feels okay to you, but I think this just sort of like keeps going on, like this kind of routine. And I think that
I want to hear how Junior and Hope get like.
Yeah. I think that your consequence here, though, is taking the condition angry.
Sure.
Because it's just like it's this back and forth.
They're fucking frustrating. Yeah.
Yeah. And when you're angry, you cannot benefit from any kind of teamwork. So you can't take assistance. You can't do a group action. You can't set up or be set up.
I love this clear condition, though.
Yeah.
Rely on someone else when it's critical. And obviously not as mechanical teamwork, right?
Right. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. So Junior and Hope, Harold took off, down these dark kind of makeshift alleyways. You have this shovel that you found in here, and what do you do? Are you taking
better
off?
trot off after Harold? I mean,
Yeah.
as best we can. We have the shovel, which is what the detector found.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think I've still gone to my truck. I think I'm not
Junior,
there yet,
no, you don't.
I'm setting up for the dramatic driving.
Yeah, no, I want this.
I want you to. I think it's gonna be sweet if you're in your truck.
Leaving me alone.
Setting that up.
You're leaving me alone.
Yeah, really? I think I did this time.
Really, you're leaving me alone?
Yeah, the narrative demands it.
Okay, so yeah, Hope, you're left on your own. What do you do?
Well, I see how much Junior cares.
Junior was in love with the Hope we had last week.
He can't tell the difference.
Yeah.
It's a big liar.
So what do you do in Hope?
I am that Hope as much as the other one was. Maybe I should stop talking.
No, yeah. What are you doing?
I'm trying to find Harold since Junior has ditched me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think
my eyes out for balloons though.
Yeah. I think that you're on your way.
I paused, by the way, briefly at a midway thing, and I root around in there and put something in my bag.
Okay,
we'll see about that later.
Okay, all right, yeah. So the camera sees you doing this, but we don't.
I paused. I had a bright idea, and I rooted out, and I went and got something. So now I'm trying to find Harold.
Yeah. I'm going to address Jason's question from the chat. Are Tweedledee and Tweedledum human or something else? Definitely something else. They are pretty similar to the creatures from the antique. Not the creatures, but like the humanoid ones, kind of shadowy and strange. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay. So Hope, you put this thing in your bag, and you are pretty easily, I think, able to sort of retrace Harold's steps and kind of figure out where he had gone. But I think that you go past a it's not like a billboard, but it's a wall that's like painted with this black balloon.
Oh.
And there are what's it say? I have to think about this for just a second. But there are words with it, and it's in the same style as that postcard,
Right.
but it's not it's not the same words as the postcard. Just 1 second. I think it says, shit. I had like a list of like cool things, and none of them seem that cool anymore. I think it says inside the mouth are the gnashing teeth. And you found the clue occult graffiti, but this is also feels, I think, probably personally significant, Hope. Because this seems very similar to the kind of graffiti you would see back in Lost Pine.
Yes.
What do you do?
Inside the mouth are the gnashing teeth. What's got a mouth here?
Well, I mean, there's something that had a mouth that swallowed up your place.
Yes. But what's here? Oh gosh, remembering the future is hard.
I instantly thought like what do they call those? Like a little haunted house, like a little ride you go into, and maybe it has a big mouth on it.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
or
love that.
if they have a fun house.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
A lot of
funhouse,
times
yeah.
those are that has a big mouth, or a roller coaster.
Yeah, I feel like,
think I'm-
this event was taking place so near to Halloween. There's probably like a fun house and like a couple of like haunted house kind of things. But why don't we put a pin in that for a moment and take our second break? And yes, that's a very good reminder too from Jesse. Clues are not a trail of things to follow; they're a web that we put together with the roll.
I think our instinct in mystery games is like to go from clue to clue to clue, but
Right,
that's not how this
right.
really works.
Right. Yeah. I may actually want to steal that wording and put it in the book, if that's okay with you.
It is yours.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. Let's take 5 and be back at 7 after.
I'm here. I'm just munching on a popsicle. I'll be back on camera in a second.
A funnel cake.
It's very summer festival rather than fall festival. It's a like a freezer pop.
All right. So
Without funnel cake.
Hope, you see this this graffiti and are trying to remember the future.
Yes.
What do we see here?
Hope's got that scrapbook.
Mm-hmm.
She takes a scrapbook and she's holding the like, you know, she has a little mini, she's holding the flashlight in one hand, and she takes the scrapbook, she opens it up on the ground, and she starts to spread the bits out,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like a little murder map.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And she's like, okay, the balloon is here. The balloons here are here, and where I remember the wall was here. And okay, and I remember the roller coaster was over there, and now it's over here.
So what are you trying to do? What do you want to accomplish?
I am trying to find a good place to dig. I have a shovel.
Mm-hmm. That's right. You do have a shovel.
That's just too much coincidence. So I'm trying to find a good place to dig.
Okay. What do you think you're rolling here?
I think this is study.
Yeah. And what do you think could go wrong?
I think that there are all manner of terrible things here that could get me.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what actually could go wrong. I'm in a dark, spooky place, and I'm by myself.
Mm-hmm. And I think that
and not because I wandered off by myself either. Although
being in a dark, spooky place by yourself, and doing this thing that I think is really cool, but also is like sort of feels like a little bit like a shot in the dark. I think this is desperate.
Okay.
Yeah. So you have 2 in study. Do you want to push your luck or maybe make a deal with the darkness?
And what is the darkness one?
I think that I think that the darkness wants you to keep digging and keep digging and keep digging. And I think that what that would look like mechanically is taking the condition void touched.
Yeah.
Okay. And that won't apply until after the roll.
I'll do it.
Okay. All right. So that gives you 3 in study. This is desperate.
5.
Okay.
The third die was a good one.
And on a desperate 5, you do it, sort of, but there's a major consequence. I think you are going to find a clue here as you dig. So just paint the scene for me a little bit. Like, what's this look like on the screen as you unwrap this shovel from the newspaper?
I unwrap the shovel. I take the paper and I put it away carefully.
Yeah.
Because the paper is probably important.
Mm-hmm.
But also I have a shovel. And I'm walking around kind of aimlessly around this little patch of ground, but not aimlessly. I'm, almost like it's like, okay, where does it feel right?
Mm-hmm.
3 steps. Okay, now few steps over to this side. Okay, now turn around and go back. And then it's like, here, this is it.
Yeah.
There's something here. I look up and it's like, and I'm looking and I'm seeing this landmark over here. And I look over here and it's this landmark over here. And it's like, okay, adjusting for the fact that the roller coaster is not in the same place. Yes. Okay, it's here. It's got to be here.
Mm-hmm.
And then I start to dig.
Yeah. And you, the spade of the shovel, makes pretty easy work of the ground, which is not, even though there was a snow recently, it's not currently frozen, and you start digging, and it's not long before you feel the shovel make contact with something that has a little bit of sort of give to it, and then you hear a loud pop, and a bunch of black fluid kind of explodes upward from this hole onto you, and you see little bits of popped balloon.
Crack, crack, crack.
And so a popped black balloon filled with fluid, something like that. And the fluid is, it's pretty viscous and kind of smells a little bit like not quite like motor oil. Like, I think that's kind of the consistency. I think the smell is more. I think it smells like kettle corn.
I like kettle corn.
Oh.
But I don't like this stuff. I'm going to gather up a little bit of it.
Okay.
In a jar.
And I think the consequence is twofold. One, I'm going to tick the countdown clock again, which puts it at half full. As you hear, I think actually it probably happens at the same time as the balloon popping, so you're sort of not exactly sure what you hear, but you hear thunder. And as you're kind of standing there with this black fluid, probably dripping off your face, the rain starts downpouring, and you see lightning crack across the sky. Actually, yeah, I think that's the full. I think that's the full consequence.
Okay. Yeah, I gather up some of this fluid and try to find the other people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like I shake my head. It's like, wait, what was I doing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And as you sort of gather up your stuff, you feel a pull to go back and keep digging. You don't have to like resist that or anything. You can just keep doing what you're doing, but you're going to feel that pull.
Okay.
And that's that void touched condition.
Yes.
Harold, so you kind of scared scared these goons. What do you think's happening now? Where do we pick back up with you?
Like, I want to know what they know. I've been using like threats to try to get it, but I also know that like, if they're not scared enough to tell me off the bat, I'm not going to threaten them into telling me the truth. I'm just going to threaten them into telling me what I want, right? So like, it's not clear to me exactly, like, I'm not sure if there's like a study here that I'm terrible at study. I basically what I want to do, I think, is is actually what I think what I actually want to do. Tell me if this costs me anything. If like it is like shooting some of that occult energy into the air, like as a flare for Junior and Hope to pull them in. Because I think what I really want. Yeah, I think like I want them here, and I kind of want to see what happens when Junior rolls up in Slayer. Both because I think it's time for us to hit the showdown roll. But we need to sort of, I guess, resolve this immediate situation. And I think it will be easier to resolve with all of them there. Here.
Yeah, so you see this blast of eldritch energy shooting up, and
we have walkies.
Yeah, you do. You can have walkies. Yeah,
I think I just like hit the walkie, and I'm like I don't want everyone can see this eldritch blast coming up. You know what I mean? Like, I'm thinking about it. It's like that's like kind of calling attention here in a way I don't really want to. So I think I hit the walkies. I'm like, come over here and give them some landmarks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So,
yeah, I think I'd probably pull up. Where were you? Where about? Kind of what place were you were in? Some sort of tent, I'm imagining. Did we establish what?
It was like kind of an open space, right? Like between
Yeah.
some sideshow thing or something. I'm trying to remember what you described there.
Yeah. The way I imagined it in my head was almost like sort of like, when you're in a dead end alleyway, kind of like that sort of thing. Like, I don't know that you're like literally backed into a corner, but like,
you're surrounded by the backs of tents because,
right. Yeah.
In other words, it's a green area with, the backs of a bunch of tents. So it's a semi-enclosed space, but there's not the openings to any of the attractions.
Right.
All right. So I think my truck probably just like bashes a nearby gate and just smashes it open, because I have like the RAM plate or the RAM, whatever you call that in the
bar.
I don't know.
Plate is good.
Well, in the picture, it looks like it's like a bunch of bars. Yeah.
Is it a cow catcher? That's a thing.
Whatever it is, we can all see the picture. I don't know what you call it.
I think we should argue with what it is.
Whatever it is, I smashed through the gate, and there I am. With the throb of the metal music playing, and that's my arrival.
Love it.
So.
Yeah, I think that probably we have like a Rain in Blood here or something, right?
Yeah. How did Dee and Dumb react?
They as the headlights hit them, they basically evaporate and disappear.
I mutter, "Fuck! You scared them. You scared." I guess I was trying. You scared them away, Junior. Zapped them away. Did something to get them to go away.
That was awesome.
And it is pouring rain now.
I was hoping they had some answers for us. Someone named Dill Pickle is their boss. I think Billy Pickle.
That doesn't make any sense, Aaron.
Hope comes walking
over.
Yeah.
I found one of those balloon things.
Yeah, and I think even in the rain, you can see this like oily substance on Hope's face.
It was about a foot or so down under the ground. They're all around here. I have a feeling. This place is going to become a sinkhole if we don't do something really soon.
Yeah.
It kind of did, I think. That would explain what I saw in my future.
So I presume at some point the way we're supposed to do this is we break out of the narrative into a meta to answer the showdown questions.
I mean, it can really be either way. It can be in fiction or
So what are the showdown questions again?
Yeah. So
what is the creature or phenomena? What does it want or why is it here? What is its weakness and how can it be contained or dealt with?
We use the clues to answer them.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you get one die for each question you're able to answer using at least one unique clue. You can use a clue to answer multiple questions, but it only contributes to your dice pool once, if that makes sense.
And does our reasoning and our use of a clue have to like link back into the narrative of what we've established? Or can we just kind of make stuff up? You know what I mean? Could I say the occult graffiti shows that its weakness is that we could use, magical spells to stop it. Like, is that
that seems reasonable to me.
Yeah, but let's see how far we can get.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, keep it in the spirit of the fiction that's been established. But like, I think your question is, can you introduce things with your answers? And absolutely, yes, you can.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you definitely tell me the parameters of what's acceptable.
Well, let's start
As you
with trying to identify it. So what's going on? What's behind
Yeah.
this?
I mean,
This
dill
is
pickle. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
this is an entity of elemental darkness. That's what this stuff. That's what this stuff is. Ugh.
And it steals your soul if
Well, a lot of elemental
you have
things.
contact with it.
A lot of well, it didn't steal mine, but maybe I got lucky.
Right.
Um,
Or did it? Yeah,
Hey,
Hope seems all right. Hope seems all right to me.
sure.
As all right as ever.
well, no, I don't feel so good, but I don't feel like hollow. A lot of elemental things take. They want, they're just raw substance, and they want whatever you've got in order to be. I mean, there are things that steal intelligence so that they can be intelligent. I think that's what's going on here.
So
Okay.
a dark elemental named Dill Pickle.
No, not Dill Pickle.
This is probably more Barking Billy. I think that sounds
Yeah,
like who it is.
I think just to sort of like make
Barking
it a little
Billy.
bit.
No,
Right,
Barking
there's
Billy.
the-
We had that name. That's what they were saying, not Dill Pickle.
And I think there's definitely an in character moment.
It
there,
doesn't
yeah.
matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
They said
That's-
both.
Yeah, but we had Barking Billy from another thing.
Yeah. I know.
Um,
Billy's what he said
It
first.
doesn't- it's also
100%
doesn't-
what he said first.
I understand. This is what Hope is saying because that came from Hannah's
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. Sorry. I was speaking in character. I was
Mhm.
I was agreeing.
Jesse, it sounded
so-
like you were trying to
Yeah,
kind
I
of
mean, I just sort of
reiterate,
it was more just sort of tying this like into the carnival more tightly.
Mhm.
And I'm open to this being sort of like it's like I don't know if this is like if Barking Billy is like a horse that this dark elemental is riding, right? As sort of like the ringmaster or whatever of this carnival / fair, or whether Barking Billy is the elemental. I'm leaning based on what Hope said before on towards the former, right? Like I don't think this is something bigger, deeper, darker than any individual person, or it's bigger than that. But here, right,
Yeah.
it's using Barking Billy as its puppet, kind of.
I think what happened is that one of these balloons got through and took somebody over and is using them, like you said, is pretending to be them.
I was gonna say its weakness is that it's limited to the carnival. Like we had the clue that like earlier that the balloon popped when it got to the edge of the carnival. And we have this book of carnival ephemera, which might hint that it's linked to this carnival.
It could be, although fictionally, I think you established his weakness is light.
Well, Tweedledee and Tweedledum disappeared in the light. That doesn't
True.
necessarily mean that.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's see. What other clues do we have?
We've answered what is the creature phenomenon, and sort of
yes,
what
and
it
what
wants.
does it want? Well, what it wants, we answered to,
Right.
which is that it wants people's minds.
Right, and that's a soulless teen is the clue that answer that addresses that.
Yeah. And actually I have a clue for the third one. Hope says it's like, I thought the shovel was important, but it's actually this newspaper. Look, this happened before. This isn't the first time.
And do you
I
think
like
that
that.
establishes its weakness then, or is that
I
just
think it
tells
does,
more
and
about it?
I'm inviting you guys to read the
Oh.
newspaper thing and to come up
Right.
and to say anything.
And I would just say again that I think it's linked to and restricted to the carnival.
Well,
That's my read. That's how I would interpret that.
well, what I would say is that, I mean, if and I'll just toss this out here, because of the headlights and things,
Mhm.
that I'm saying that the newspaper article is about a strange phenomenon, that people disappearing and they ascribe to the thing, but there's also a thing in the newspaper about first arc light erected to celebrate Carnival. So in other words, that this they put up a carbon arc lamp, and that's our clue that that's actually what got rid of it the first time, made it hide underground.
Yeah, that might be more actionable. That its weakness is light, bright light.
Super bright light.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I mean, it can be multiple. Like, it doesn't have to just be like one thing. You can say it's, tied to the fairgrounds, and its weakness is this kind of light.
Sure.
That's okay.
But I just thought, but when you brought in Slayer and the headlights chased away Tweedledee and Tweedledum, it's like, oh, its weakness is bright light, and probably it has to be a super bright light for Barking Billy, because I just thought that was cool.
How does everybody feel about these answers?
Good.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think you were able to answer all 3 questions with at least 1 clue for each. So I think that's 3 dice. Who wants to roll it?
Not me.
I'll do it. Here we go. I'm not superstitious.
Junior's good at rolling dice.
I got a 4.
Okay. So on a 4, you have a decent theory or plan of approach, but have drawn some incorrect or incomplete conclusions. The keeper may invite you to work together to determine which questions were wrong and what the truth really is, or they will show you in play. When we cut to the action, your position is desperate.
Awesome.
And
Sounds amazing.
Yeah, so Tweedledum and Tweedledee sort of evaporate in the light, and we have you all standing around in the light of the headlamps, and the rain kind of we hear the sounds of the rain hitting Slayer, right, and probably the muffled sounds of Slayer the band coming from inside the truck, and you hear laughter. Kind of echoing throughout the entire fairgrounds. And you see shadows move quickly. Like you're seeing things out of your peripheral vision. You turn to look, and there's nothing there. And if you're willing, I'd love for each of you to give me one detail about Barking Billy as he appears in front of you.
I think he has like a top hat.
Is a top hat, sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Sort of a classic Carnival Barkers. Yeah, like something out of the 30s. I think that that his features shift slightly every time his heart beats.
Ooh, yeah. Like shift, like how? Like what? Like what do we see? Like when we get this heartbeat?
He just seems, he's a little taller. He's a little shorter. He's a little, he's a little more round faced. He's a little more angular. His nose is a little different.
Oh, that's dope. I love that. Yeah. Jesse, you have a detail?
Yeah. He's wearing a tuxedo. He's got that tuxedo, but the tuxedo is made out of kind of like stretched black latex.
Mm,
Like it's the material of the balloons almost. It's
yeah.
got it's you know, a little thicker, a little better. I think it's both like ominous, and there's probably like a little bit of camp to it also.
Oh yeah, this feels really what's the Ryan Murphy, the American Horror Story,
American
you
Horror
know?
Story. Yeah, so there's some
Yeah.
of that, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
I was thinking almost that he had a little bit of an aspect of a Rubber Hose cartoon character about him.
Hmm.
You know, in other words,
Yeah.
it's just he's not quite put together anatomically.
Yeah.
There's that moment in Who Framed Roger Rabbit when Christopher Lloyd is revealed as a Toon, and
Yeah.
he's
Oh
like
fuck yeah.
not quite human but not quite Toon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
And I
which
think that's the. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say that
excited.
was terrifying to me when I saw
Yeah.
that as a child
Oh
in
yeah.
theaters.
100%.
I
I think that's the that kind of leads into the other thing that you notice about him though is that he's not made out of shadow stuff like these other creatures you've seen were. I don't know that you can quite say he's made out of like flesh and bone. There's definitely, you know, I mean, he has his features are kind of changing, and he has this sort of strange, you know, quality to him. But he definitely doesn't look like those things. And one kind of feature that stays pretty consistent as his features kind of shift with each bump of his heart is that he's kind of baby faced. He looks young, and he's big. He's very big, very broad chested. You know, really kind of filling out this this latex tuxedo, a latex, if you will. And he says, "Oh dear, what do we have here? Please introduce yourselves." Kind of just looks at you expectantly.
kind of want to introduce myself by punching him.
Go for it, man.
I'm Trouble.
You're Trouble. Oh, I love Trouble.
Yeah. I kind of want to just like punch him into Slayer's grill in the front there. Give, you know, unless Junior, you have something you want to do with Slayer, and then I could do an awesome punching him into it as help.
Yeah, except that you are angry.
I
and
can't help people.
Yeah.
Damn
You
it.
can't help. You can't. I mean, that sounds like a setup action. You can't do that either.
I was thinking of maybe I'll do a setup action. Maybe he's.
I can't take advantage of a setup action.
I say to him, I like lean out my window. I'm like, my name is fuck you, asshole, and I'll spin out, and I'm just trying to draw him like to follow me in my truck as I'm spinning around in this area. Probably knocking over a lot of shit. So I'm trying to like have him draw. Basically, it's a setup action to set up Harold to give him.
Well, here's the thing, though.
I can't take a setup action.
I can't assist you. I can't set up for you,
I
or you can't set up for me.
No.
Oh,
either.
I see. Okay.
I want to pitch something though. Whatever Junior does with the truck, right? We've got I don't know what Slayer song in the background, but and we're cutting back and forth between Junior and I think this whole scene, because we've got a car here, right, is going to be intercut between this fight and the demo derby.
Junior,
Right.
I've got an idea, and you help.
Maybe I draw him to the derby. No, that would break the fiction of.
Oh, okay. Nope. I'll let you guys figure that out on your own.
Okay. So I guess I'm gonna try.
Junior.
I mean, going on our theory, I'm gonna try to draw him out of here with my truck. Yeah.
You can fine. Thank you. I was trying to do something together with you, but if you,
I mean, go ahead and
insist on being unilateral.
You want to do it as assist or something? Mechanically, I think we'll just go with what I'm thinking. So I'm trying to piss him off to follow me, and I'm trying to draw him out of the carnival. And if
And-
it's cool and it doesn't break our fiction, I do kind of like the idea of drawing him into the derby, the demolition derby. But maybe that's crazy.
Tell me why you're worried that it breaks the fiction.
Well, I mean, it's like that sort of like we talked early on about, like it's like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, where like everyone kind of in the town keeps their blinkers on, where like they all have this plausible deniability of whether
gas leak in the high
vampires
school
are real or
football
not.
Field. That's
Having
Buffy never let that get in the way of a cool scene.
That's true.
I will say.
All right, fine.
Well, but it is.
Let's have it. That is the goal.
It is a little bit against the pact of protecting the.
Well, it's our finale.
You're drawing the bad guy to all of the innocents.
We'll wait till season 2 to sort out, the consequences of this.
This show got a
3
3-episode season 1. But okay, but hold on though. What I'm hearing though is I'm hearing Brandon.
No,
Hope
that's
wanting
fine.
to do something too, right?
No,
Because
no.
not
And
just-
all of my ideas are do it. Go ahead and do it.
Do you want to jump in the? Are you jumping in the truck? And you can pick up where we end on my roll.
I really can't.
Okay.
Let me think. I can. I don't.
Do you want to tell us sort of what you're thinking?
I have
here, because I have a sense that you have something sort of like going on with Hope that like we're happy to help out with, but we need to know about it to do it.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, I mean, I was thinking you want to light bomb this guy.
Bomb him?
Yeah. In other words, to trap him in a suddenly turned on bunch of lights, or else to hit him with a bolt, hit him with lightning.
I think Jesse was telegraphing that our theory about the lights was wrong, like when he's not shadowy.
So it's just Jesse
based on our Jax.
Jex was telegraphing their theory about the lights was wrong.
So I want to be clear. That wasn't what I was intending to telegraph, because Jesse, you also said something that was so fucking dope with this idea of intercutting between here in the demolition derby.
Yeah.
Where have we established there's a shit ton of bright lights?
It's just like so.
And the demolition derby, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. So let's take him to the demolition derby.
Okay, so like I said, the theory is I'm using Scramble to try to draw him out of here because he's pissed off, and maybe we see a bunch of quick shots of me, like him just barely missing me. I imagine he's fast and swooping around, and that's
I have a fun assist for that. So
okay,
go ahead.
How does that sound?
Yes.
So I'm thinking Scramble.
Well, hold on though.
Sure.
I think Scramble makes sense because you're driving, you're moving fast, but like a Scramble doesn't convince him to follow you.
Okay.
Well, that's true.
You know what I mean?
So maybe it's Sway. I don't think I'm connecting with him.
Might be.
Well, like what are you? What's the action you're like? What fictional thing are you doing to get him to follow?
I'm trying to aggravate him more than
taunting him.
Yeah, it's kind of like taunting.
Taunt.
That kind of feels like a compel.
All right, I'll go with it. I got nothing in it, but
you gain +1D on all rolls.
Yeah,
related to driving.
And you've got me.
Yeah, and you get how's Hope helping again?
Okay, I am helping now with my carefully stored up carefully stored up plot device.
Okay,
it's
what is this?
Oh, I just imagine that this guy is made of balloons way down deep, and so I have a handful of balloon darts that I got from a booth where you pop the balloons.
That's your flashback move.
So this is my assist, is I'm just peppering him with little darts.
Are you expending your plot armor, and then that gives him +2D here?
I can wait until after he rolls to do that.
That's true.
So beforehand, I'm going to burn 1 luck to give you a die, but I've got my ace in the hole.
Okay. Yeah, it works.
Okay, yeah. We'll say if you want, you can then add an additional die after he rolls.
Yeah.
Jason, do you want to push your luck here or anything?
I I keep forgetting. What is it? The Devil's Bargain. What do you call it?
Yeah.
And what might you give me?
Deal with the darkness.
Yeah, deal with the darkness. Anyone have any ideas for a deal with the darkness here?
I mean, it mostly involves like damage to the football field, innocents getting hurt. Like you're going into a space where there's a lot of people.
Yeah,
Or it could be our reputation is ruined because, or the secret is out, right?
Well, what I think it is I think that it's going to be like maximum alarm, right? Like, I think you know, whatever it sort of ends up with at the sort of normal Fallout, like you're going to be taking like, you know, +5 to it or something, right? Like it's, and yeah, fictionally, you know, it's going to be disruptive to your relationships with the people. It's going to damage things. There's going to be a lot of collateral damage, etc.
People make it trampled.
Yeah, I'll take that. Season 2 would be cleaning up that whole mess.
Yeah.
So that gives me 1 die because of myself, 1 die from the assist, and another die from that. That's 3. That sounds pretty good. And then if I get if I need to resist, I get an extra die on that because of my skill.
And just because of where your positioning is with the showdown roll, this is desperate.
Okay, and I got a 6.
All right. Yeah.
So, Brandon, do you want to go for the crit and use your skill, or do you want to save that for something else? Looking at the clock, I don't know if we'll have another moment.
What does improved position mean?
Improved position would push it into risky instead of desperate.
Well, 6 would still just be a success. Oh, +1 result level is the other thing, right?
I think you get both. You get to assist me and also then get improved position. Is that like going forward? Is that how the wording is supposed to mention?
Yeah, so it'd be like acting on the prep. So it'd be like going forward, it'd be improved position. So it'd be like a +1 forward in a PBTA game, right? Like
so I am totally doing this. And I throw a few darts at him and I say, now I'm really going to encourage him. And I toss a little flashbang at him.
Does it make sense that 2 of you have jumped into like the bed of the truck or something? So
I'm in the back. I'm in the back of the truck. You have to drive. I presume Harold's back here with me.
Yeah, it's up to you, Harold. But all right. So giving an extra die. Let me roll 1 more die then, see if I can get a crit.
So yeah, I threw a little flashbang at him. It doesn't do him any damage. It's just
I did not. So it was
just to piss him off.
Okay. I think we are going to start a clock, which is just sort of like deal with Barking Billy. I think this is a 6 clock. Just because you know, I want to be mindful of time, but also like this dude is serious. And obviously, you know, this is not just you know, this isn't like just like HP, right? There's lots of ways you can tick down this clock. But yeah, so Jason, paint the scene for me here. What does this look like as you've sort of goaded him into following you?
Yeah, so tone this down as much as you need to, but I'll put it as dramatic version. So I think we see a few shots of me like swerving and kicking up mud inside of here. It sounds like Hope has jumped into the back of the truck. She's throwing the darts, and we bust through that gate that I came in. It's pissed off at me. It's following. We run up a ramp into the football field, and instantly we're dodging, you know, cars that are, you know, I probably ram into a car on the way in there, and before it knows it, it's so enraged, it comes right out in the middle where it gets, you know, all these lights that come down and spotlight it, and everybody's, you know, a bunch of people scream and start running for the doors. Chaos.
Yeah. I think we get like as you're sort of, you know, driving off and Hope is throwing these darts and the flashbang, like you kind of get a like, where are you going kind of thing, right? And
slight modification to the thing, not a flashbang. I fired I have a flare gun.
Okay, cool.
And I fired a flare at him, and then I load up another one.
And he sort of like stretches and gets like really long as he's like kind of like following after the truck.
He is a cartoon character.
Yeah, and yeah, I think if I can make a pitch, Jason, like as you come up this ramp into the football field, you get some air. right? And they kind of like
course.
land on the field, and you're like dodging out of the way.
And I turn up the
And,
music.
Yeah, can I like just as a like as he swings by, right? I grab on to like the trucks. I like hop onto one of the truck's runners, and I'm like up in the bed, like grasping onto something. So as he goes up the ramp, I'm like flying out the back.
Yeah,
You know, grasping on
that.
for dear life.
Yeah, yeah. And so that was you were in a desperate position there, so I'm going to tick the clock once. So you're at 1 out of 6. And as he's kind of like getting hit by these cars and there's these lights, and you can see that he does not seem to be happy with all these lights, and people are starting to freak out. Either Hope or Harold, what do you do?
Oh, Hope first if you have something you want to do, because mine is just very simple.
I do have something I want to do. Hope prepped for this by going and becoming a different Hope. So now he's in the light, and he's a little more well defined and such like that. And now I'm going to fire the flare gun, to hurt. It's like I remember how these things work. And I didn't have flares back then, but I have them now.
Yeah, you want to check off, like, was this like improvised weapon or something?
This is I want to do this as my part of the plan.
Okay, sure.
This was my flashback. I had a flare gun.
Right.
And I'm also going to push my luck to use expertise.
Okay. Yeah. So what action did you end up deciding for expertise?
Study.
Okay. So tell me why this is a study and not a wreck or a hunt.
This is
paint it in the fiction.
This is a study because these creatures have a weak spot. They are amorphous. They don't really have organs and things like that. But whatever they use to see, they have to expose themselves. So this guy doesn't have vitals in the classic sense, but his eyes, he would, if he has to keep his eyes open or he'd be blind. And that is and if I can hit him with a flare in the face, it's going to hurt him.
Okay, sure. Yeah, so you have 2 in study. Are you and you pushed your luck as well, so you get a die from that,
and I have improved position.
Yeah. And so this is risky, and it does feel like a video game boss battle. I kind of like it. Yeah, so this is risky, and you have 3 dice. Harold unfortunately cannot help. I don't know if Junior wants to help in some way.
Nah, you can go with it. Let's see what happens.
All right. 6.
Yeah. All right. On a risky 6, you do it. So yeah, I mean, this is going to tick the clock another 2 more times. So tell me what this looks like. It doesn't kill him. But
no.
He's
no,
for sure.
The I line the flare gun doesn't really have sights. I lined it up as best I can, pull the trigger, and the thing fires across and bursts like a firework right in front of his face. Bits of
that black fluid
stuff
we talked about.
Yeah, and bits of black fluid spray.
Okay. Yeah, we see like this like latex like kind of explosion and some fluid like come out, and then after a moment it kind of like sort of heals itself, and it's like, oh, you're a naughty kid. Harold, what are you doing?
Yeah, so I mean, I imagine, right, like Junior is driving all over this, like corralling, trying to herd Billy, and Hope has just like scored this big blow, right? And I think I'm like, I'm hanging on for dear life. And when the opening comes, right, occult flare on my fists, pushing my luck to perform a feat of physical strength verging on the supernatural, right? This is just like this is just like me diving off the car at like the exact moment, getting an enormous amount of height, and just like plummeting down, occult energy pulsing on my fists, right? Tattoos blazing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to. I think I remember what's the cost for using the monstrous move.
So it is 2 stress and a string or a condition, or gosh, what was the other thing?
I mean, I'm taking my last doom here, so it kind of doesn't matter. Right.
Wait, so you're not just you lose control, you suffer a condition, or the keeper takes a string on you. So this isn't just you using relentless. You're using relentless
the
and
Eldritch
your
Secrets.
and Eldritch Secrets. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Which is my last 2 luck. That's me clicking my last doom.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're definitely. I mean, you're definitely losing control here. I'm guessing is what's going to happen.
I mean, I think I'm giving into the demon, right? I think that's right. I so badly wanted control of it, but now, like we're here in public. All of these people are at risk, right? I think it's more than just like occult energy here in my hands. I think like my eyes are glowing. I think there's like my skull, its shape starts to shift and pulse a little bit. It maybe looks a little bit like what's going on with Billy's head, with Billy's sort of shifting. Not exactly, but there's an echo. As this is a close up, right? As I dive, I just pound into Billy. That's a wreck.
That's wreck. And you pushed yourself twice for this, so I think you get 2.
I only pushed myself once.
Didn't you do relentless and?
Eldritch Secrets, is that a push yourself to use that? And do I get to do it twice? Does it count twice?
Yeah, I think this is the place where you can do it twice. Yeah.
Okay.
Like using a monstrous ability and yeah.
Yeah. So that's 4 dice.
So thinking that over though a little bit, like actually just doing Eldritch
I wasn't
Secrets
expecting
probably...
to be able to do that, have that count twice.
Well, so thinking this through, like you probably don't need to do Relentless and Eldritch Secrets, right? Like I think that Eldritch Secrets probably gives you the fictional positioning to be able to do this.
Well, like, some of it is right? Like my concern. Maybe it's Relentless that gives me the fictional positioning then, because like, the thing that's the supernatural strength thing is the like jumping off the moving car and getting the height.
Yeah, gotcha.
Right.
Yeah.
So like I'm happy to have like the Eldritch Secrets just be flavor, I guess. If you and then I don't have
no, dude. So you push yourself twice. You fill up your luck track. You're taking your last doom. You can have 2 extra fucking dice for this, man. Like this. I'm
happy to go down.
I want this. I want this so bad now.
Yeah, this is what. Look, there's a reason I took all that stress earlier. I didn't plan it quite this way, but I'm very happy it's how it worked out. So that's 4 dice.
Yeah.
You want an assist for
what's my position?
He can't take an assist.
This is risky now because I think you're acting on Hope's prep, so you're in a risky position.
Can I act on Hope's prep?
Yeah.
Well, I splattered him. I splattered him. This is not teamwork. He's just taking advantage of the opening.
This is just the fictional reality.
I think that this is risky. It feels desperate.
I mean, I also think all those cool. like I also think maybe like occult, like that's what the Eldritch Secrets gets me, is the risky. Also between
Sure.
that and what Hope did,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Like there's no, the problem is you can't manipulate both effect and position in this game because there's no effect. But like functionally, that's kind of what's happening here,
Right.
I think.
Yeah, and I have to say there's so many times where I'm like, oh, I really miss effect. So who knows? That might come back in sometime, but I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, I get I hear both sides.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna roll.
Yeah. I have not actually had the die roller open for a single roll yet until this one.
All right,
and that's a
6,
6.
3, 5, 1.
Yeah, so that's a 6. So risky 6, you do it. So risky, this is going to tick off another 2 on that clock. So this is going to bring you to 5 out of 6. And yeah, just describe how you are just pummeling Barking Billy.
Yeah, I mean, I think, look, some of this is also right. Like I'm trying to. It's not just I'm trying. Some of this is also I'm trying to like pin him in place in the light. So
Yeah.
again, this is not a setup action, but like fictionally,
Mhm.
there's someone can come in and do something, right? I think it's just like the demolition.
I think that this can be a setup action because I think that you cleared your condition here by taking a rash action no one
others
ignore.
can't ignore. It's totally fair. Yeah. So yeah, I think this is just like this is not really on tone for what we're doing here. But so I think I want to maybe, but like I think this is just like, okay, this is the thing. So this is my father and uncles like to describe something they would do when they were children. There's like big age gaps there, right? So one would be much larger than the other. And there was a game, especially my 2 youngest uncles would, but this older ones too, where the older one would pin the younger one like their shoulders by their knees, right? And then let some spit out of their mouth and then suck it back up right before it hit their face. Right. So it's that kind of like, I think I'm trying to put myself in that kind of like that position of dominance, knees, shoulders. I think there's probably like, look, Barking Billy's slipperier than that. His body isn't quite so stable. So I think it's like a little bit more, but it's just punching, just endless punching, and that face keeps on morphing and changing, right? Like I'm not really doing damage that sticks, but it just doesn't let up. You're muted, Jex.
Are you able to hear me?
Yep, now you're good.
Oh, weird. I was unmuted, but okay. So the other thing that happens, Harold, is as this sort of eldritch flame makes contact with his flesh, you hear balloons popping and this goo like shooting up at you. And you have him pinned. And I want you to describe for me, as the other 2 are able to kind of come in and benefit from the setup action, what it looks like when the demon fully takes control. Now you're muted.
It's still my body, right? And it's not. I was like thinking if this was a longer campaign, I would have taken some of those transformation monstrous moves too. That like, but I don't think I can really do that. You can see that it wants to transform my body, right? Like there's like my skull is sort of like it's like wants to elongate. There's like tusks, but then not tusks, right? My shoulders are sort of like there's like, and I think it's like I don't know, like I don't know that we're like hearing like bone popping sounds or anything like that because I'm not sure that's quite the tone here, right?
Well, we're hearing balloon popping anyway.
Yeah, right. And but I think I'm screaming and it's pain. Right. It's like rage and pain and joy and the demon's joy, right? All in my voice. As this like kind of near transformation is taking place. And then, but this, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and we see the light shining on this thing, and
Yeah, and
Billy is
all the glowing
yeah,
of this
yeah.
eldritch light.
Yeah, and yeah, I think Billy just starts laughing out of control. Hope and Junior, you have an opportunity here to act.
This is Junior's chance here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So,
think I got a good one here. So yeah, he jumped out of the truck. The truck sped on, but then we see like a close up of that, like you said, it's laughing, and Harold is going through this transformation, and you see the reverse lights come on in the truck. The Slayer in the back, the back. What do we call it? I
Gate.
forget what it's. The gate. The Slayer. Stenciled on the back, and it goes full speed in reverse and tries to ram into this thing to finish this thing. And I don't know if Jesse wants me to hit him too or not, but we'll sort that out.
So
Yeah,
I
hit
think, like I don't know, I think I'm sacrificing myself. I mean, I don't know. Embrace the
Yeah,
void
so
makes
let me
sense, but I think
let me
sacrifice
read
yourself-
let me read through what happens when you're doomed. Just so we can have that kind of on air. So when your doom track is full, you're doomed. Your character cannot continue their life as a hunter. After taking your final action, you must either sacrifice yourself or embrace the void. If you sacrifice yourself, all other hunters take plus 1d to their next action, as if you had taken the help action. You decide whether your hunter dies, retires, or something else. Whatever their fate, they cannot continue their life as a hunter. If
that
you
what you're doing,
embrace the
Jesse?
void,
Yeah.
the void is satisfied for now. All other hunters may clear one doom, but you must hand your hunter over to the keeper who decides their ultimate fate. Maybe they die, maybe they suffer a fate worse than death, becoming the very evil they swore to drive out.
So I think I am sacrificing myself. I think that's what makes sense here, right? Sacrificing myself to the demon, right? In a certain sense, or just that's what I'm doing. So we'll talk about what that means in epilogue, maybe in terms of like dying, retiring, or something else. But I think in this moment, right, like you both have plus 1d to whatever you do next to take out Barking Billy, and that's what I sort of got. So in addition to that, plus 2d because it's also a setup action.
So setup I think increases position.
So yeah, so plus 1d and increased position.
And so since you're also, I think, still acting on Hope's prep, I think that this actually puts you in a steady position as you do this.
Sure.
Junior.
I mean, you're either got all of its attention or you're holding it or something, and it doesn't see me coming. And Slayer's awesome. So the music, it probably like goes from like all the other sound of the show would stop and you would just hear the Slayer music, right?
Well, I mean, so I want to take a moment to describe the chaos around this too, right? People are fucking running and yelling and leaving this place, and like cars are driving off,
right.
and it is chaos all around you.
Yeah. Well, this sounds like it has to be wreck, unless I can somehow spin it into a rig. Probably
Wreck
not rig,
good.
is it? It's got to be wreck, isn't it?
It
So I've got nothing in wreck, but I do get one for Baby Driver. I get one for Harold. That's 2. I will go ahead and push myself for 3.
You get 1 from me because what I am doing is I am banging on the hood of the truck and making the little metal hand symbol.
Okay, the demon horns. Yeah.
Yes, and if that doesn't
horns,
help, I don't know what does.
All right, so that takes me to 4 dice. As long as I don't get 1 to 3s on all of these, I think we're good.
Well, and you're in steady position, so it wouldn't be the end of the world if you did. But
yeah. All right, here we go. There's 1 single 4 there.
Okay, so on a steady 4, I mean, you do this, right? Like we're gonna tick that clock. You just reverse full speed into Harold and Barking Billy, and we get like an explosion from Barking Billy of just like the big balloon goes and just this goo goes everywhere. And I think what happens is where Barking Billy was, and we probably get a shot of like sort of now Harold kind of holding on because this hole has opened up in the football field. Hope, you know this whole, well, this is the mouth with teeth that gnash. This is the
Yes.
Hellmouth. The Hellmouth might have looked a little different when you saw it, but this is it, and it is open. But you have defeated Barking Billy. This is a problem for later. Why don't we do Fallout, and then we'll do our epilogues? Does that sound good?
Sure.
Just because I really want to try to determine how much alarm this costs. Yeah. So successful hunts generate bond. You get 2 bond per hunt as long as the hunt was successful, and an additional bond if you impressed an important NPC or took care to treat regular folks well. I don't know that happened, but I do think you get the 2 bond for successfully completing this hunt. Alarm. So starting out for the base, 0 is smooth and quiet low exposure, 2 contained standard exposure, 4 is for loud and chaotic high exposure, 6 is for wild and devastating exposure. I think this is 6, right?
6 plus 5 plus another
6
5?
6 plus 5 for it took place in public with witnesses. And
then what about the 5 for the devil's bargain?
Yep. So go ahead and take 16 alarm. So that's just going to ramp panic right up.
There is an open hellmouth in the football field, right?
It's only
Right.
2 panic.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm not going to bother gathering strings because we're not playing anymore after this. But I really wanted to see what that alarm was going to look like.
Oh,
And
actually, we get only 15 alarm.
Oh yeah, because you have that you have a
Because
special
we're from
ability that
here.
affects that, right? Yeah.
It's like
It's okay, everybody. So yeah, why don't we do epilogues? It's a couple, I mean, I guess it's up to you how long after this you would like these scenes to be. But why don't we start with Junior? Where do we find Junior, and how much time has passed?
I think it's Junior coming home. Let me think for a moment. I think it's Junior coming home. Well, let me ask this. Is everybody okay if we jump forward? Like, I guess you guys can put yourself wherever you want. So I'll just do mine and we'll go from there. I think he's coming home for summer break. He's gone away to college. He's wearing he's, instead of wearing like Slayer t-shirt, he's wearing like maybe like Fugazi. I think that would be around about that time. So his music taste has changed, and he's driving his truck. He's coming home in the summer, and he drives by the football stadium, and you can see that it's all like, it's completely it's like got a plastic dome over it, and there's all kinds of like FBI and CDC and like all the federal agencies are here around it. Got it completely surrounded. All the area around of it has been completely cleared. I would be open to him coming to see Hope. And
yes, and Hope says,
"Go ahead.
How'd you do in your courses?"
I did great. But I'm really happy to get back here
and
pick up where we left off.
What's your major?
I think his major is let's see what would be a likely thing. I think his major is it's music.
Oh, hey. And you got an A on your project.
Yep.
That's really hot. says Hope, and she kisses you.
Exactly. Perfect.
Yeah. So, you finally, Hope finally figured out you're interested in her.
Which Hope is it, though?
Hey, what
Maybe,
do you care?
maybe that's
Hope?
yeah, maybe, yeah.
It's like, you think, you need him. Okay, relationship 101. First lesson, know what questions to ask and what questions not to ask.
He's in love with all the Hopes.
Yes. I'm your hope for the future, after all.
Junior, you want anything else in this scene here?
No, I think that's good.
Yeah. Okay. Hope, do you have anything additional that you want to bring in for your epilogue?
I'm actually perfectly happy with that.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So Jesse, what do we see for Harold? I actually have an idea, but I want to hopefully I can fit it in with what you're thinking.
So I mean, this is my sort of picture of it. I think it's, for me, it's like sunrise the next morning, right? And the place is cleared out, and I think like it's soon enough. It's only been a couple hours. Like a couple of agents from Dale's old agency, or maybe even Dale. Right. I don't want to bring Michael's character in this too tight, but like I've definitely had a conversation with Dale here. Right. I think Dale's the only one I spoke to. I deliberately didn't speak to Hope and Junior, because I'm embarrassed, uncomfortable, scared, and I'm standing at like the edge of the Hellmouth, looking down. And my tattoos are still glowing, my eyes are still glowing a little bit, but the transformation stuff is done. I'm a fucking mess. I've got a backpack over my shoulder, a cigarette hanging off of my lip, one of those big Chesterfield Kings I was smoking in the first first session, and I think Mr. Heap is standing next to me. And this is maybe a little Beetlejuice. I say to him, I've got to learn how to control this thing. I guess I'm in. And the two of us jump down into the Hellmouth. Because I'm his now I'm his errand boy in this. But what happens is, instead of the fall, right, there's like a sudden transition. And I'm by myself online, a very long line in a white sort of featureless room, and there's some chairs, like it's a waiting room vibe, and Fugazi's Waiting Room.
Yeah, that's a different Fugazi song. Yeah,
it's waiting room comes on in the background there, and I hear the buzz in my ears of Mr. Heap's voice, right? The bugs, the flies, the bees, whatever that buzzing was, right? Saying, "You'll get your assignment at the front of the line. When you've completed it, we'll talk." And like I'm retiring from sort of the in terms of mechanically, right? This is retirement, but it's retirement into something else. I don't know if you said you had an idea, Jex. If this feeds into it at all.
I think that is way cooler than the thing I was thinking of. But I wonder if do we get a shot here of the room where before you had met the stranger, and it's empty.
Which room? I'm
the sort of the metaphorical room.
Oh, in my head.
The room inside your head. Yeah.
No, the demon's still, like, the whole point of this, right, is that I'm trying to control the demon more. But I think what we get a shot of, right, and this is like the camera spins around and comes into my eyes, right, and then there's the window in the room, and it's not empty, but there's like a, I'm trying to think of what the right control metaphor is, right?
Mhm.
I don't, right, but like there's like a um um like the demon is wrangling with like a steering wheel. And it's not
Mhm.
like it's kind of locked right now, right? But
Mhm.
there's a lever that he has now that he did, or that it has now that it didn't have before.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. And just because you'd sort of left the option open for the stranger to return, I think that we actually get a brief, from inside
Hmm.
the room, we see the stranger look in the window and walk past.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Awesome. This has been Bump in the Dark Iron Country Autumn. Thanks so much if you watched these. Thanks so much to everybody who played. I had a blast. You can find the Gauntlet at gauntlet-rpg.com, and have a great night. Thank you.